We've got our first trip this week, but I still had a few things to troubleshoot. We've had a lingering issue with our furnace. I was installing a Murphy bed latch that didn't go as easy as I hoped for, and I was dealing with a water leak. I'm not an expert, and we're new RV owners, and we're barely hitched. Whenever you find standing water inside your RV, it can make you panic, especially as a new RV owner. Now, this morning I came back after a recent heavy rain overnight just to check to make sure that everything in the trailer was holding up. Now, I opened up the slides, got everything operational, and then got carried away on another task. But about 5 to 10 minutes later, I noticed that there was a pool of water. When you're putting out the slides, there can be some water that gets pulled back in. So I'm going to monitor the spot. But as long as it isn't consistent, that's a good sign. But if you have experienced this before as a new RV owner or an experienced RV owner, let me know what your experience was, if there's a solution maybe to check to hopefully eliminate this from happening again, or if this is something that you need to just be mindful of over the course of your ownership. Now, one of the main reasons why I came to the trailer this morning is to try to troubleshoot the issue that I've been having with my furnace. Now, the furnace works great, blows hot air, does exactly what it needs to do, but I'm still getting that dusty kind of burn-off smell that you may experience if you turn on a gas fireplace for the first time in the season. One of the things I'm going to do is remove the vent cover, but I'm also going to try to remove the access panel so I can get eyes on the full unit. It looks like a clean unit, not a lot of dust or debris that appears on the exterior or initially when opening up the vent. I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up and see if I notice anything that doesn't look good, or maybe where the smell could very well be coming from. Heat is on. Okay, flame is on, so we're good there. Now let's talk about the time frame in which I've been dealing with this issue. Now, when we first got it, we pulled out the trailer just to open everything up, and we ran the furnace, understanding we were probably going to experience a smell like this. But ran it for about an hour, thinking that that would help. We had everything ventilated, doors, windows, to let everything breathe. But we ended up shutting it off, and then when we ended up going to our first campsite, which was on a farm, at the end of March, which in Wisconsin is still cold. You're still going to have those lower temperatures. We ended up turning it on for about 20 to 30 minutes, and our daughter was in there. She was complaining, so we ended up shutting it off. And then in the middle of the night, it just got to the point where it was too cold, probably in the 40s inside the trailer. So we ended up turning it back on for 10 minutes, and we couldn't sleep with the smell. And most recently ended up running it for about 2 hours, understanding that I wanted to try to give a good opportunity for this to burn off. But we have a trip coming up. We may have to invest in a small space heater. Obviously, that's not ideal, and we have to be extra cautious with that, but we want to make sure that we're comfortable on our first trip. So I'm going to let that run for a little while and see. Like, I can still smell it, but the heat is running great. So I'm wondering if it's just simply burn off. No propane smell, no burning plastic, no smoke, nothing. On a clean unit from the exterior and the way that everything looks here, but to be determined here. One of the things that we ended up upgrading was the mattress. We ended up going with RV mattress. Now this is a short queen, 60 by 74, I believe. Now this is the 8-inch. And we have the 203 model of the R-Pod. Now the question is whether or not this is going to fit in the full upright position of the Murphy bed. So I got to push it just a little bit here to get it locked in. Now, the only problem that I do notice is it's putting all of the stress there on that latch. If I can get a little bit more support here, this is going to help hopefully keep everything in a better position and not create torque on the fasteners and the hinges of the Murphy bed down on the bottom. But this mattress does fit, and it looks like it will hold. I just want to reinforce that a little bit more to make sure we're in a good spot. So I'm gonna have to fasten that into the trim, hopefully without destroying it, and then put the latch in the same position as that one. So I've got the latch set, so that'll sit right in through here. And then I'm going right into the trim there, and then we should have a properly seated receiver there. Now the moment of truth is whether or not this is going to fasten. So that looks as if, that does not look as if. Fuck. It pulled right up off the trim. And that is probably because I don't have, the screws aren't long enough. Now after that rookie mistake, I was able to find a solution. One thing that I should have checked is the fact that the wood screws that came with the latch originally weren't long enough. I should have been able to line that up and figure that out. So I ran to the hardware store and got a 2-inch wood screw, and that was able to get everything nice and secure. Here we've got the final product. Now the original screw, as I mentioned, I should have been able to line that up to make sure that that went through deep enough. Obviously it did not, which caused our issue and pulled the trim right up off of the cabinet, but ended up going with the 2-inch screw, so it's a little bit deeper in there. And now we've got a nice and secure latch. Now, once I go ahead and release this, it's got a good tension. Now when we come back in, it's able to set nice and snug there. So now I've got 2 latches set up, one the original that came with the unit, and now a little bit more support here given the fact that we do have the thicker mattress, the 8-inch mattress here, which now is able to be put up easily with the Murphy bed with virtually no issue. So I pressure tested this, make sure that the latch doesn't come undone and pull the trim back out, but that is definitely snug and in there. So hopefully that'll hold up for now. Now it's on to the next task. The trailer that we got was already pre-wired for a backup camera. So I ended up going with the 0X Club. It was highly rated. I ended up getting, I think, for about $109 with a coupon on Amazon. But it's a 7-inch screen. Originally, when I plugged it in, I thought for sure all I needed to do was turn on the monitor and it would be able to connect. That wasn't the case. What I needed to do is connect the truck to the trailer, or the trailer to the truck, and then I needed to put the headlights on. And then that's when everything started to kick in. So for right now, I think this is a pretty good setup here. We'll see how it works on the road. But the next thing I need to figure out is where I'm going to put this thing on the dash. Now, 7-inch monitor, I mean, it's going to take up a lot of real estate. Maybe there's going to be another option, but I do want to use it for the purposes of being able to see traffic behind me too, but also from backing into spots. This extra hour or two, so we're ranging about maybe 5 or 6 hours of running, it's now at a point where the smell is minimal, so I'm happy with that. All right, so I believe that that's going to be it for today. I was able to get a lot done. The furnace was the big issue, as well as that latch system. So I'm glad I was able to get that finished. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up here and call it a day. We head out here shortly for our trip, so we at least got a majority of the stuff ready to go, packed up, everything where it needs to be, and a couple extras. And just in case things go wrong, we have the tools in order to hopefully address on the road. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or feedback or any help, please send it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.